That's the button. All right, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne qualifiers here. 2 spots will be filled in the main tournament from this qualifier, and we've already seen a phenomenal series from Classic and Jaedong. But now we're going to be following on the winner of that. We're going to be following on Classic, and he's going to be going up against the winner from another previous series, and it's going to be against PiG from the Australian region. And in fact, we can show the brackets on the stream for you right now. And noticeably, Rain just decided to go Mega Man mode and crush through Cure Terran, Cure Bomber, Cure Terran, and then Bomber the Terran. And now he's sat in a very, very favorable position. So Rain is looking to power on through, as we can see all the Classic actually advances on. The interesting thing is, basically, the winner of the upper bracket gets themselves a spot, and then the winner of the lower bracket gets themselves a spot. So that's how things unfold in that regard. Also, we should notify you that we do now have the ticket sales on the way for you for the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. So if you want to come to Cologne, then you can buy tickets at the address on there. And actually, we can show that on screen for you as well, just to make sure you know exactly where to go. And this is IEM. This is IEM. Well, I mean, the website there is different when you actually type it in, but you do type it in. It's IEM-cologne.eventbrite.com. And then if you scroll down just a little bit, here are all the details of the event, as well as a little lovely video from Highlights of New York, including the schedule as well. So all the information that you would need if you were attending the event is all here, and all the tickets available to you. So definitely come along to Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. Obviously, we're going to be here, and we're going to be casting that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Myself and Sean, as well as unannounced casters yet to come. But for now, we need to check on the status of our next series. And we do have an invite from Classic. So it's going to be Classic versus PiG. PiG, having attended the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore, and most recently, so it's going to be Frost first, and then from that point on, loser picks. GLGL, guys. Wait. Oh, no. Oh, Stardust wanted to invite as well. Okay, well, I'm sorry, we just died. There was in the brackets Maru versus Curious. However, it had already started. So, shucks. That's a little bit of a shame, because Curious's ZVT is really good and Maru's TVZ is really good. So, Anyway, so we are loading up for Classic versus PiG, another PVZ. Let's jump right on in, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner of Frost, Teal Protoss, representing SK Telecom T1. It is Classic. Down to the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Australian representative. It is PiG from Exile 5. Okay. Okie dokies. He has the most beautiful smile in esports. He is PiG. And unfortunately for him, he's sending his overload the wrong way, so not the best of starts. So this series is going to be difficult for PiG. I mean, let's just throw that out there. If Jaedong was not able to defeat Classic after a great series of games, PiG's going to have to pull out something very, very special to defeat Classic on his road to glory and victory. I think, just in general, a lot of the Chinese players and the Southeast Asian guys are going to have to pull out some really stellar performances if they want to advance over any of the Koreans today. But it is doable. It has been done before, question mark? I don't think it has. I'm being hopeful, guys. I'm being hopeful. All right. I love a good underdog. All Englishmen love a good underdog. So that's very important. Anyway, so Forge is going to be thrown down here for Classic. The normal Forge. Wait a minute, he's going for a cannon rush. Oh, okay. So everything I said about the cannon rush potentials when we were talking about this map when he was playing Jaedong are now coming along here for Classic. And PiG's Third, well, he's sending a drone down. Oh, perfect timing here by PiG, sending that drone down to be able to spot this. He sees the probe, but how well is this going to work? Oh! Ah! Wow! Wow, there's a hole! Ah, where's the second probe? Okay, where's the drones? The drones come off. Okay, crisis management, crisis management. The drone actually managed to work its way in there and force the cancellation of a pylon. And wow, Classic's going to abandon this entire thing. So, GG PiG. It's not over yet though, so don't read into my GG as... Is he doing... I don't think he saw the second probe. I think he kept it hidden. Clever moves here by Classic. He made it look as if there was only one probe, but you've always got to be wary as a Zerg on this map. There's another pylon. There's another probe. Ah! You can throw down another pylon. Uh-oh. All right. Here's the thing. Here is the thing. You always have to be scared of the second probe on a map like Frost because of the way in which the scouting has to work out if you're going to go for a cannon rush. He's trying to get out of there, bless him, with the probe? Oh, wait, no, he's... Oh, that's quite clever, actually, because then he can just cancel them again. Ah, clever Classic. Clever little fella. So now they're well defended. All he needed them was there for the wall. He didn't need to let them the wall finish, of course. Clever moves by Classic. So the second wave of the cannon rush is successful for now. And the problem is that he's got a lot of Zerglings in production. But unless he goes before that third cannon finishes up, I don't know if he's going to be able to break it. There's not really that much surface area. And actually, oh no, here for Classic, that's another very, very good wall. PiG is in a lot of trouble. Once again, these Zerglings are going to have a very difficult time of actually cleaning up these two cannons. And then once they are all dead, then he got supply blocked. Where did the Overlord die? Oh, this photon cannon got an Overlord kill. Ah, this is all going disastrously here for PiG in game number 1. And now the Zerglings, once again, are amassing. You can't throw in any more cannons here. Well, 1, he doesn't have a probe there, and 2, there's creep gooping up all of that area. So this one cannon is slowly killing this hatchery. And there you go, GG. Game number 1 goes to Classic. Cheeky man. Cheeky man. But now, PiG did mention that it is loser picks. So, we'll be getting into this next game in a second. Sorry, Stardust. The countdown began just as you messaged. Okay. So, Stardust, unfortunately, did not get into the game with me. I'm sorry, Stardust. But maybe he'll get... Oh, no, he's okay. I think he might be going into another game. Okay, so we're going to get into game number 2 between PiG and Classic here in a second. Let's quickly check if there's been any updates in the past 5 minutes in the bracket. I assume not. Refresh. Curious beat Maru. Maybe a spoiler, if it's like still going on for like the next 2 minutes on a stream somewhere. But Curious now beat Maru. So impressive. Curious, just every single time, he never ever disappoints during an Intel Extreme Masters qualifier. Ever. Invite, please. Okay. So now the winner of this will play against Curious, whereas the winner of SOS and King Kong will play against Rain. If this series finishes quickly, I would love to get SOS or King Kong versus Rain. So maybe we can see if we can get into that. But for now, we do have the invite into the next game, as PiG does invite us. Let's go. Noticeably, PiG is Grandmasters on Korean server, which is an impressive feat. A very impressive feat. Good luck, guys. All right, so Heavy Rain is our next map, as Classic takes the swift 1-0 lead with some very sneaky play. Missed that second probe by a millimeter. Yeah, that's what PiG just said in the chat. But you've always got to be scared. He's scared of that second probe. I think PiG probably was, but again, he said just a millimeter that he'd missed it by. So A little bit unlucky for the fella. My chair keeps squeaking. What's going on? All right, let's jump into game number 2 as we have the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne qualifiers continuing, spawning down to the southern position as our Red Zerg is Exile 5's PiG. And then up to the north as our Teal Protoss, it is SK Telecom T1's Classic. Does he try it again? I think not. I think Classic this game goes for some kind of gateway aggression. And that pylon certainly leads me to believe, even more so, that at least it's not going to be a Forge cannon rush. So, PiG's going to have to cover all his angles here, make sure his scouting is fine, and deal with that. Overlord already rallied into position on this right-hand side, so it can then later on dive in, have a look around. But one thing about that Overlord that I'm personally a fan of on this map is not rallying over to this right-hand side, but rallying over to the left-hand side, because at this point in time, the first Overlord on Heavy Rain can go wherever it wants, whereas successive Overlords from that point on can't necessarily go exactly where they want. And getting over to this left-hand corner and then being able to scout out this area of your opponent's main is a little bit harder to do if your initial Overlord's over here, as opposed to over on this left. Personal preference thing, but I've spotted a lot of gateways and a lot of tech hidden over in this left-hand side. But as is the the prime opportunity as well to throw it over here. But anyway, Classic for now, he's faking cannon rush, and he's forcing his opponent to maybe over extend and try and deal with that. But only one pylon so far. PiG brings down a second probe, and the funny thing is that cannon rushing on this map is extremely difficult as a Protoss because of how much space there is in the back of this mineral line. The only way you could actually get away with that is if that scouting probe didn't actually head down towards the natural. A very difficult thing to make work. But now PiG is having a look around. He sees the gas already mining, so he can pretty much infer from this point on, without actually seeing the gateway at the back, that it is indeed a gateway expand. And Classic's going to head home for a second there with his probe. And he's being sneaky. Why are you being sneaky, Classic? What are you doing with this probe? He's going to hide it. As I said at the beginning, I'm feeling gateway aggression here from Classic. Once that Cybercore finishes up, let's see how much Corona Boost he actually wants to bank on this Nexus. Pylon goes down. I'm going to say 4 gates. I'm going to say 4 gates. 2 at the front, 1 at the back. Maybe all the way over here. Especially since he saw the path of that Overlord and how it headed out of his base. But he is spending a few more Corona Boosts on this Nexus, so maybe he's not going to. Maybe I have fooled myself. Alright, anyway. So this Mothership Core is on the way. Few lings as well as speed goes down, and he does go for Stargate at the front, so Classic's gonna play this out a bit more normally. He's giving a bit more respect to PiG here by playing a bit more of a macro game. Or at least the indication of a macro game. And that wall will finish up here for Classic. So, PiG has the base going down, and throwing back straight into gas, just with 2, so that he can get his layer on the way. I'm curious to see how PiG's going to play this out, actually. I haven't seen many of PiG's games as of late. Of course, we did see him briefly at the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore, but once again, Classic always throws down his Stargate in his wall, and this Ling did spot that there was a Stargate present. So PiG should be able to prepare pretty aptly in time for this. The one disadvantage that I'm seeing for PiG, though, is that he only has 2 queens out across these bases, so far at least, and his third base that he's chosen to take is quite far away. So that gives rise to why he's trying to spread out creep that quickly, but it's still going to take a while to actually connect. Whereas if it had been at this base, obviously it would have connected a little bit quicker. And the Oracle is going to exploit that fact, or at least come over here and now realize that there's a third base, but try and fly into the natural. Gets a few workers, 3 already, despite 2 queens wailing away. And whoop, has to be careful, Classic. At least you have a little bit of a safe zone down in this bottom right. But those 2 Spore Crawlers will zone him out from that natural for quite a while, unless, of course, there is a gas taken here, and then drones are on that point. But also, there is a small spot of vulnerability here thanks to the positioning of this Spore Crawler. This Spore Crawler, the positioning of it is understandable because he's trying to anticipate units coming in from this side and doesn't really imagine them to breach behind the perimeters of these 2 locations. But still, the Oracle sneaks out anyway. There's a lot of dead space, a lot of area for him to really get out here. And actually could start harassing there. It still has some shields, so it will survive for a while against that. And behind all of that, whilst getting a few kills, he's also got the Nexus on the way. So far, so good here for... for health. So far, so good here for Classic, establishing his 4th base, 3rd base even, I should say. It's going to be a little bit difficult for PiG to really put on any pressure at that 3rd. As Classic has already got out very, very stable amounts of sentries to be able to force field that off, etc. Which is why we're seeing a lovely, lovely flurry of drones come out from PiG, and whilst also connecting these bases up very, very nicely. Also, 3 gateways get added on for a nice little wall over on this right-hand side. A few holes here and there to be able to let units through, but it just provides good defense and the ability to funnel units if he needs to. And these sentries being rather adventurous. PiG didn't really anticipate this move out. It's a bit weird, but it may end up working out in the end. This is strange. PiG had to throw down some emergency spine crawlers to deal with this, but the sentry tickle power is working. And he got a queen as well as a few drones. So, and he got some roaches. And he's going to get another queen. Wow. The funny thing is he could just recall out if he wants to. I have not seen this ever, actually. All right, well, sentries are going to go home, I guess. All they have to do is, like, force field and then laugh at these roaches for a second. But behind this, Blink as well as +2 are starting up. There's a lot of roaches powering across towards this location, but in the end, they shouldn't stray too far. The Oracle tickling away at some of them as well. But this location now for Classic is very, very well fortified. Behind this, what is PiG up to? He's grabbing himself his Spire, he's getting +1 range weapons finished, and he's getting 11 drones out. So he's going to have a very, very stable and heavy income, whilst Classic looks to go for the push out. This +2 Blink timing, well, he's actually just going to go with Blink because he feels as if he's done enough damage. This Blink timing, not with the +2, let's ignore that for a while because it's not going to be done before this engagement's come. This is really scary. Very, very scary indeed. The force fields will act as the initial wave to try and zone out, and then the Blink Stalkers from that point on will take charge. Now, there's only 2 spines, and only 10 roaches out on the field that are looking to pressure behind all of this, but he's guaranteed to lose this base. PiG has to evacuate out, and Classic is really putting on a Protoss masterclass as to what to do when it comes to dealing with Zergs. Even the Void Ray back at home puts the timer on those roaches and they can't do anything. Classic could just keep pressing forwards and really making an issue out of himself. PiG has got a little bit to worry about here. Roaches die off, really nice force field, seal those in, making sure that they can't get to the concave that's setting up here. And that's a nice concave, actually. +2 has finished, though. But Classic feels a little bit wary about pushing in, because he did have vision of that. Mothership Core with 14 vision range does provide him ample opportunity to spot all of this. But PiG is caught between a rock and a hard place. He's trying to establish a base down to the bottom left-hand corner, trying to transition over there, but the Oracle could get so many drone kills if they stick around over there. And there's still more Stalkers being warped in. Oh, those force fields are really nice. Really, really nice force fields as Classic seizes his opportunity, zones out a lot of those units, and now PiG's Concave is scrambling for another position. More and more force fields land in the perfect locations. A little bit of waste here and there, but in the grand scheme of things, it really does help out and work wonders. Even the Warp Prism going to work on this base down to the bottom left now. PiG's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. His base down to the bottom left gets completely cancelled and has to be forced to try and do something else later on. Recalls out. And a wise decision. Doesn't have to stay there and try and make something happen. He's killed off plenty of workers, he's crippled his opponent's economy, he's getting his 4th base up to the top right-hand corner, and +3 weapons, as well as Colossi, as well as Phoenix, now that he's spotted the Mutalisks, are all en route here for the Protoss player that is, again, as I said before, putting on a masterclass. Whilst we have poor little Warp Prism, gonna die. He could have killed it! Ah! Well, it would have ended up dying, but I mean, PiG has more pressing issues to deal with, like this huge Blinkstalker army now moving through the middle of the map, really making a bit of a nightmare here for PiG. He does have 17 Mutalisks on the way, so if he looks to go for some kind of base trade scenario, like it looks like he may be doing with these Roaches and Zerglings, just trying to push at every other base, then maybe that will work. But some Stalkers are already coming back for the defense. They, along with the reinforcements here for PiG, for him, should be able to work out. Classic takes the series 2-0. Congratulations to him advancing on. And now he's going to be playing against Curious. So there's another PVZ down in that bottom bracket. I'm going to try, if I can, to avoid that, because we've had 2 PVZs in a row. I know that Classic versus Curious would be a very good one, as I'm sure there'll be long macro games there. Curious is very, very strong against all-in play. But maybe we can get something different going. We're going to take a short break here at the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne Qualifiers, and then when we're back, we'll have more awesome StarCraft action for you. So don't go anywhere.